All right, and welcome back to the hashtag I'm My Everywhere podcast. Raj, thank you so much for reaching out, and glad to have you on.
Absolutely, Josh. It's pleasure to, to be here and to be talking to you.
Yeah, I mean, looking at your background, you've done a lot of cool things in your world, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you've done, specifically on the modernization side, and just looking at your things you've done on your LinkedIn profile. Unbelievable projects, the companies you've worked for. I think that people will be very interested and intrigued to hear what you're doing and your thoughts about IBMI, modernization, and AI, and that there's a lot of things that you're doing, and love to hear about your story, and maybe you want to kick it off from there.
Absolutely. Why don't we start with my education background? Probably that will definitely give a good background to this. So I did my both bachelor's and master's in India, working on computer applications. So I got exposed to quite a big list of subjects of the computer science, like database management system, networking, computer architecture, data warehousing, data mining, whatnot. So after I graduated from the computer applications master degree, I'm so fortunate I got directly recruited from the campus itself
Oh,
by
nice.
one of the top three IT services company. Yeah, that's when I got introduced to IBM AS400. That was the first time I got to hear what AS400. I've never heard about it in my academics. So I think since then I got to work with multiple IT service companies, so many US clients and UK clients. It was a really good journey. Overall, it is now, I would say, 20 years of IT experience. Primarily, I would be doing, engineering business applications. My focus would be on a legacy modernization and digital transformation.
Mm-hmm.
That's about my background.
That's an amazing background. And I'm curious to hear about like what those projects were. Maybe you could share a little bit like what you did and maybe along the lines of like what just share some of that.
Okay, let me add mix of that, like projects and what are the various things that I got to learn during this journey. So, like I mentioned, a couple of IT service companies I have worked with where I got to deal with multiple clients. Some of them are into logistics domain, banking, transportation, hospitality. I'm so fortunate, I work with those companies. I got to deal with so many clients. I got to learn so much. Like I mentioned, that was my first company where I got introduced to AS400. So people were talking AS400, DB2 400, RPG 400. Those terms itself so flashy, something very new, which I have never heard about it. So we were like, our group of friends were quite excited. What is it all about? Come on, what I'm going to work on. But then, the screen, when I looked at it, just like any other person feel, no, what is this screen? I've never seen. What is it that I work
God,
on?
that's not a good first impression.
Trust me. Then that's when the real world starts. I heard something called ILE, Integrated
Mm-hmm.
Language Environment, RPG ILE programming. So that was my very first development project. I'm so happy that I got to learn all these ILE concepts and I had to apply in the real world. And I'm so glad I was so motivated by that. I got to do this IBM certified RPG ILE programmer. I
Oh.
definitely say it's a very proud feeling for me. That was my very first IT certification.
Oh,
So
wow. That's a good
I
one to
couldn't
start
clear
with.
it. Of course, yeah. I couldn't clear it in first attempt though, but I'm glad I could complete it in the second attempt. But still, trust me, it's a very great feeling that I could do that ILE certification. So then in my second stint of my career where I got to work with, that's when actually the company that I worked with, they are doing some tech fest. They call it as like Osmosis something. And that's when IBM was introducing 6.1. You remember those days,
Oh,
6.1?
that's a couple years back.
Yeah. So around 2008, I believe, everyone was like still working on version 5, release 3, release 4. And even till that time, I was only aware of version 5, release 3, release 4. So
Mm-hmm.
6.1 was like so good with so many good new features and enhancements. I was so surprised and excited about that. And I thought of writing one tech paper, a white paper, whatnot. Then I got a chance to publish that white paper in the tech fest in my company.
Oh,
You know
wow.
what? I got the best tech paper award for that. It's because so many people were like still on the level of V5R3, V5R4. When I got to mention about the enhancements and the new feature IBM is introducing with 6.1, like we were like so surprised. Come on now, yeah, we are almost equal to internet programmers. You understand the feeling that we get.
It's unbelievable. So the question for you is that I think this is what's unique about your background is the fact that you've had so many different experiences being in the consulting world and being
Mhm.
involved in so many different projects. And I'm just curious to hear like how you were able to manage all those things and how you've been able to grow and learn from all these different projects you've done over the years.
That's a nice question, Josh. Like in all these IT service companies, right? It's all about how exactly you will showcase your talents, capabilities, and what you're good at to the client. That's how
Mm-hmm.
you're going to win the business. That's the story everywhere, correct? So it's always like this. A client or a customer has a problem, a pain point. If I could grab that opportunity and if I could show them, hey, this is what I have, and if I could, solve their problem using all the skills and talent what I have, so I'm going to win a big project for my company. So that's a win-win thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah. So during this process, be it cloud computing, big data, IoT, AWS, whatnot. So I got to, traverse all those technologies.
Got it. So when we're talking about that, like there's a lot of different like you probably are also able to see the trends of as you've done a lot of different things over the time. And where do you see IBMI going?
You mean the future of IBM?
Future of IBMI, but also from your specific experience with your modernization efforts and everything else
So
done.
yeah, my perspective would be towards that. I would say, skill gap is still a gap.
Sure.
I'm not sure if you agree with me, but today, along with me, so many people experience that. But despite that reason, trust me, IBM is doing a fantastic job, like making sure this iSeries platform or system IBM is still carrying that same glory and charm by making sure, like, this platform is open to so many other open source technologies like Node.js, Python, and now it is like AI also, like we are capable of running or integrated with RPG. So when such things are happening, people like me will still have a faith. Hey, no, I no need to move away from IBM. I can still continue for next couple of years. So I'm pretty sure we would be doing a wonderful job. Only one thing I would want to call out is each one of us should always assess the what is the business that I'm working with. What are my goals today? What is my roadmap down the lane? If my present applications that what I'm working on, is it really allowing me to meet today's business needs? If that is not the case, I'm pretty sure we should take a pause and think, are we relevant? Are we really adding value to today's business? If not, then you have to think about modernizing your applications. So what I'm trying to say, not necessarily you have to move away from the application or the platform that you're working on, but you should still embrace the new technologies at the same time leverage your existing platform. That's my point.
No, that sounds about right. I think that people have to be making their IT environment up to date
Yep.
together with the business requirements. I think that it's also unique about IBMI specifically is the fact that it is a business machine. It's putting the IBM into the business
Yep.
machine. But I think that it's not every single platform out there is focused on the business. And
Yep.
what you just said is really relevant. And let me share with you a funny story. Uh, this is one of my favorite IT jungle stories ever. Is
Oh
this
yeah.
is from 2010, I think. Okay,
Uh-huh.
it's with Bernie Madoff. I hope I hope I'm not gonna get in trouble for this one. But the story is as follows: Bernie Madoff had actually a lot of IBMI AS400s written that were running his Ponzi scheme, and all his developers were writing an RPG too on purpose
Okay.
because no one could audit them properly. They had to bring in this is the IT Jungle article came in, and they had IBM come in with people that know how to read RPG2 and were able
Okay.
to figure out the code in there. And these guys who were claiming that they didn't know anything about what Bernie was intending with this. And I'm just reading this and I'm like, okay, one second. Have you know anything about IBMIs? Do you know anything about AS400? Do you know anything about that? They are literally the business background. They are 100,000% business. So
Right.
you're telling me that, oh, I don't know anything about the IBMI. I don't know anything. I don't know what Bernie's intending. Well, yeah, you do. You literally wrote the code so it works. I think to your point though, is that it's a funny story, but I think the point of the story is that when we talk about IBMI, it's not just like your point solution. It is literally the backbone of every single organization that we talk about. And to your point, is that it is an is that you're not getting away from it. Modernize it to with what you are at, where
Right.
your business is to go, and be careful and be cognizant of what you need to what your business needs to be able
Yeah.
to manage it.
True.
So I think what you're saying is 100% true. What I'm curious to hear about is specifically your modernization. What's your thought process behind that? How do you decide to do a modernization? Just maybe walk me through a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. Like I mentioned, while I was working in India with multiple companies, there was a situation where we had to showcase what my center of excellence is all about. What is that we would do today in the presence of the company. Then my peer competitors or people who came to showcase their skills, other departments, US is a legacy platform. What? Legacy platform. Okay, that's when I started thinking that's when I know what exactly legacy is. Until then, I was just doing my business. Okay, my client needs this and I'm doing that. I'm able to do my job and client is able to run their business. That's it. So who cares about what is legacy, what is not legacy?
As long
So
as it
then
works, right?
yeah, true. So legacy. Okay, then that was the moment for me, which made me to think what we should do to say that we are still equal to you other guys, to other latest technologies. Then I started thinking. One of my colleague and few other people, like we were doing brainstorming, we were thinking like something a concept called legacy to the world. So in the sense, okay, you are calling me legacy, but still we have the capability to open up to quite a few other technologies. We are able to still talk to you, communicate to you, opening up the business opportunities to you guys as well, so that we can do hand in hand business. So what is the stopping us? Sky is the limit there. So since then, I always like made a habit of like monitoring all the trends, be it anything. So how about that implementing on IBMI, integrated with RPG, CL programming? How does it work? Will I be able to use it on my platform? Be it PHP programming, be it Python, whatnot. So if something comes up new, okay, can I integrate with my platform? So I always say I'm not left behind. I'm still there equal with you.
Love that. I think what's unique about what you're talking about is the fact that you are talking about that you're keeping up with trends and you're
Yeah.
looking at the marketplace and you're looking at what can my it's essentially like what like Uncle Sam likes to say is like what can your IBM do for you? What can you do for your IBMI? It's kind of like that. It I think you can keep your IBMI running if we just open it up properly, meaning let's use the ETLs, let's use the CDC tools out there because the applications are good. The applications run, they rock, they that's part of the reason why they're called legacy system is because it works. Let's continue going and continue to bring on the beautiful things that come along with a legacy system. And what that does for you is then you as long as you're opening it up and to your point about open sources, can I bridge that gap between AWS and IBMI? Can I? Is that possible? And I think that's exactly what you're talking about. Is if you're able to do that, then what's the problem? Why is it legacy?
Correct. Correct. So, in fact, just to keep the phrasing good, we were thinking to name it as legacy to ecstasy.
Legacy to ecstasy. That's amazing.
Ecstasy.
Man, wow, that's awesome. When we talk about AI, I mean, AI is probably the most talked about topic. Do you have any thoughts around that and where you're seeing trends?
Yeah, like I said, my primary focus would be like how I will be transforming the existing applications in this digital world. So like it's so common. People would leave carrying so much knowledge and experience. At that point of time, your company would start thinking, hey, a very loyal person, so much knowledge, everything is gone when you do not have a proper documentation in place. Why shouldn't I design some chatbot application where it will be an assistant to the users? Like,
Okay.
A new person has joined the company. He doesn't know the application, how to use. So he just have the chatbot, how to use it. So he just goes to the chatbot. Hey, I want to go to that particular option and I want to fulfill an order. Can you please tell me the steps? So the chatbot should be able to understand the question given and it should be giving the list of step A to step C or step D. Hey, go to that menu, take this option, key in this information. I just thought on those lines and a very primitive version of it. I just developed a prototype.
So Raj, let's take a step back. So
Uh-huh.
1 second. So let me understand this project you built. You built an AI chatbot that's able to basically ingest your entire application, that is able to help newcomers onto the platform to be able to ask it questions, what is going on. So maybe that, number one, that's unbelievable. Number two, that's unbelievable. And number three, that's unbelievable. But I think, number four though is that when we talk about that, how are you using AI for modernization?
I would say, Josh, like I'm still exploring. Some of them, like I'm quite confident that is possible. I'll probably give you a few reasons, like how anyone like me who is in this modernization journey can try and experiment with these AI features or solutions. Say, I'll tell you, one main thing somebody wants to do modernization is like very old code. The first problem they think they get to their mind is like, personally me, RPG2 when I was working, it is so difficult to understand. Code maintainability, readability,
Yeah,
understanding.
it's very.
Yep. So I know, man, I know the pain that I had undergone to understand while I was debugging something, to solve a problem, to rewrite something. So these are all the real problems, right? Just think you have a AI solution. That's some magic, it is going to do. Hey, don't worry, I'm here. I'm going to read your whole code and I'm going to understand it for you. And I'm going to give you what is happening in a very plain English. Just imagine what it's going to do for you. It is going to make it much more easier for me in terms of my code analysis, in case if I want to refactor it. Let me tell you, the same AI solution I've tried with Copilot, Gemini, and few other products. Like I said, I was experimenting. You give an RPG to code and you tell the product that, hey, why don't you rewrite that code in Python? Why don't you rewrite that in free format RPG? Yes, the AI solution is going to do that for you. So likewise, let's say I have 100 programs today which I want to rewrite. Yeah, I can use the AI solution. How many days it will take? It is going to do that for me. I'll tell you the another interesting factor. It doesn't stop there. I have done the coding now. Does it stop there? I have to do so much testing. So how AI is going to help me here? AI is going to write the test cases for you.
So you're first rewriting it with the AI, and then after rewriting it the AI, you then ask it to test it for you to make sure it works.
Right. So you are going to ask the solution.
That's amazing.
Yeah, to prepare the test cases for me. You just tell, hey, I've built one application that is going to take the input, the customer information, and what exactly he wants to fulfill the order, and the program is going to build something, and fulfill that order. So can you write few test cases on this? This is just an example. And the AI solution based on input that you're going to give, it is going to give some 5 to 6 test cases. It doesn't stop there again. You're again going to ask AI, give me some script where you are going to run all these test cases and give me the results. So you have done the test case writing and you are using the same AI software to run those test cases and to share the test results with you. You agree?
Wow. Whoa. That's amazing. So when you do that, by the end of it, it should be able to have modern day code by the end.
Just imagine like had it been the case where I'm doing it everything manually, I would end up doing like a months of effort. When I use the same thing using AI, probably in hours or in days, maybe.
Yeah, it could be it probably could take a couple hours and then you're done. And it's probably production ready. That's unbelievable. I think that it's really important for people to hear that it's possible, the art of the possibility, because I think that when we talk about our older legacy systems, people think of it as like it's this black box and you can't use it for anything. But if we could rewrite that code quickly and efficiently into a language that we understand, So continue using that same application, what you have, and just continue going. But wait, okay. But what are you thinking?
One disclaimer. Let me tell you, during my research, I also understood it is so possible that this AI solution doesn't know what an opcode is. It is so possible that it can fetch me a wrong opcode as well. So it's again up to the programmer to validate its authenticity, to understand how accurate it is, and to use it accordingly. I'm pretty sure all the AI products are going to put that condition.
Of
It's an
course, I mean
experimental
it's not
mode.
perfect yet. It's not perfect yet, but I think it still moves the needle tremendously because the years and years of neglect of not changing it and updating it, which is part of the beautiful thing about IBMI in general, that you don't need to update it and it still works. But at the same time, that has also caused a skill gap. And I think that what you're suggesting is basically, you know, getting it up to the speed. Like I think that's a really relevant point for most companies that are struggling with modernization and they're concerned about their skill gap. Okay.
Yeah, that is skill gap. It's still a gap.
Touche. Touche. The question is how do we manage it? How do we make it better? And I think that this is one way to do it. I still want to learn more about your modernization efforts
Mhm.
because I think for modernization a lot of times people get scared. So what would you tell someone that is just getting involved in a new modernization effort?
Let me tell this, Josh, to everyone who is listening to me. When I'm talking about modernization, it doesn't mean that I'm an expert on this. I'm still learning. Trust me, I'm still learning. I'm just here. I'm so happy I'm here talking to you to share all that what I have learned, what I know about it. So I really do not see a need where people should get, overwhelmed when we talk about modernization. I'm sure each person in their own capacity, they're already doing the modernization. They wouldn't know that they're modernizing. I'll just give you a simple example. You have a RPG program that is already running so successfully, and there is an interfacing application. They want to know the status of an order. So how exactly that application is going to talk to me? So now, as a programmer, I thought, okay, let me build one web service for you. My web service is going to communicate to you what is the order status when you give me the order ready. That's it. So that is definitely a simplified version of modernization. I'm not stopping my need here. Someone is asking me, I want to interact with you. Come on, will you be able to communicate with me? Yes, I'm opening the doors for you. So that is one form of modernization, not necessarily, close the whole platform and move to a different platform like a cloud or something. Not necessarily. So, like I said again, what is your business need today? Are you in a position to afford completely move away from this one to a new one? Do you really see that? Think, if it isn't broke, why do you try to fix it?
Love that. And I think what you're really harping on is the fact that we're using the term modernization, and modernization is one of those funny words that means a million different things to a million different people.
Of
It does
course.
it, and I think that what you're the perhaps the best way to describe it is what you're saying is that take it take it as is. Like like define it. Like if we're talking like a diet, if you're on a diet, if the fact that you didn't eat the chocolate cake today is a wonderful step in the right direction. Like I may be 500 pounds overweight, but today I stopped myself. So I think that's what you're saying essentially is don't be scared. Take it a little bites and take one step at a time and celebrate the wins.
100%. Yep.
No, that's wonderful. Well, Raj, I very much appreciate your time. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you for reaching out and thank you very much for joining the show. You know where to find me. My name is Josh Bander. If you guys ever want anyone else wants to join the show, feel free to reach out to me. You know where to find me. DM me, talk to me. You can find me. Talk to you all soon. Thanks so much.